There are plenty of questions surrounding the San Francisco 49ers offense this season. After having a 6-11 season, one might be ready to throw in the towel and say, let's rebuild the ship. And I'm not talking about me. That's not my take. Many of you have said that in the comments. Maybe that's just frustration from last year. I don't know. But despite all of that, the 49ers just got great news for the upcoming offense this season. And I'm going to tell you all about it in today's video. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content. Appreciate you guys. And I got a question for you. As always, the question today is, full-on list season has happened. Like, I'm just being real with you guys. And I'm just going to embrace it. So I'm going to ask you, are the 49ers a top 5 running back room right now? Right now, as is, J.P. Mason out, Jordan James in. Are the 49ers right now a top 5 running back room? Let me know in the comments. I've got 3 fantastic, fascinating is a better word actually, lists for you today, one of which is especially awesome if you ask me. But the first list that I have puts the 49ers at number 6 in running back room. I'm not 100% happy with that take. So let's look at it first and let's talk about where the 49ers stack up. So you got Lions, Eagles, Falcons, Ravens. Those 4 at least have decent arguments. Dolphins, and then the 49ers. I don't like that take, and I'm going to talk about why I don't like that take. But let's start with the fact that at least the reality that even having shed the leading rusher of the season in the first 5 games last year, Jordan Mason was the leading rusher. You've lost him, okay? And the 49ers are still considered 6th best in the league. So I'm going to call this good news even still, even if I disagree with the placement at number 6. But you're going to give Miami, you're going to give Achane and a 4th-round rookie number 5 in the league. Their running back room is less tested. Their running back room is less proven. Because of all the young guys. I mean, there's high upside, I guess you could say. Okay, but no more than the 49ers, in my opinion. CMC is up against anybody when he's healthy. Okay, he's tier 1. He's comparable to anybody in the league on his day. I don't think we have to argue there. I think you guys agree with me. If we get healthy Christian McCaffrey, I'm happy. Okay, I'm not worried about him. Lost the step. I'm not worried about any of that stuff with Christian McCaffrey. We're going to be just fine with CMC. Isaac Guerendo has absolute elite speed for his size. He is lightning quick for his size. And lightning quick. I mean, he's 4'3", but then you bring in a guy like Jordan James. Now, I understand Isaac Guerendo's injury concerns. Okay, we can talk about that in a second. But you bring in Jordan James, who's a dual threat, and he's an elite player. I think he's going to be an elite player in this league after being developed. And he's in the right system, and he's with the right coaching staff to be developed. He's a great fit for the system. So there's a lot of positivity, in my opinion, around Jordan James, who many people have said, and I mean like top people, I mean national analysts, I mean people have talked about Jordan James being one of the sneaky good picks for the 49ers this year because he's a player that, this is what they say, can contribute this year. Genuinely feel like he's such a good fit for Shanahan's system, dual threat, that he could if opportunities arise, which I'm kind of hoping that they don't, let's be honest, but if opportunities arise, the guy should be solid. Now, I get Lions, okay? You got Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. They're kind of a dual threat. They're kind of the running back room in terms of, now I don't want to switch players with the Detroit Lions, okay? I like Christian McCaffrey. I'm not trying to switch players, but my point is with what I've always kind of wished the 49ers would do with Christian, especially last year. Last year happens because in 2023, you didn't see any kind of a shared load. I would love to see the 49ers give more of a shared load. I said to you actually last offseason, I wanted to see the 49ers play Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason more regularly because Jordan Mason was developing and was looking like he was about to be a breakout star. And sure enough, he was, at least from a running back perspective. And I'd say the contract he got would suggest I'm not wrong on that either. I don't know if you can do that with Isaac Guerendo, but you sure should try, in my opinion. You should limit Christian McCaffrey's reps, and you should try. And if Isaac Guerendo pulls a hammy in training camp this year or goes down with another leg-related injury, that might be it for him with the 49ers. Not this year. He's not going to get dropped. He's going to make the team. But I could see the 49ers having a hard time looking past that. Now, if Jordan James can come in and be your I wouldn't call it like change of pace guy necessarily, but definitely different, but can do a lot of the same types of plays that Christian McCaffrey can do. The main issue there just being how long is it going to take for him to get used to Kyle Shanahan's offense, because Kyle Shanahan doesn't like to use running backs. Like, in my opinion, this is how it feels to me. Let me know if you're different in the comments, but it feels to me like Kyle Shanahan treats the running back position similarly to how he treats his wide receivers. He'll let them go out there and he'll let them tote the rock, but he will not let them be in the passing game until they've gone through all the things that he makes all the wide receivers do. We don't get to see all of that, obviously, but wide receivers take a long time to develop in Shanahan's system. They develop well. He gets the most out of the wide receivers, but just saying, okay? I feel like I've gotten a little off track here. Who else? Atlanta has a great duo as well. Eagles, they get by because they have Saquon Barkley. Ravens, kind of similar argument with Derrick Henry. Plus, you have that obvious dynamic offense because of the run threat of Lamar Jackson. So I'm not going to really argue with the top four, not including the 49ers this season. I'm fine with that because Christian McCaffrey has to come back. Christian McCaffrey has to show he still has it. He has to come back and be healthy for the season. That's important. I get all of that argument why you might not put him there, but I'm not having Miami. I'm not having Miami above the 49ers. Not interested in that. Let me know if you think it's a top 5 room. And if you think, by golly, if you think the 49ers should be rated higher than some of these other teams, do it. Make the case. I'd love to see it. I'm a fan of it. Okay. No surprise on this one, so I'm not going to go deep on it, but I will say, despite having a horrible 6-11 season, Kyle Shanahan still is revered as the best play caller in the National Football League. That's your coach. I get it. I know you guys are ready to throw in the towel at the end of the year last year and really frustrated with how it goes. And I don't love the peaks and valleys of Kyle Shanahan. I don't love the downs. They stink. But the team, the world still reveres him as the best offensive play caller. And when people were calling for Shanahan to be fired in the middle and toward the end of last season, there were a lot of other people, especially in the national media landscape. Stink comes to mind. Like, just saying, come on, guys. That guy is not going to last one day outside of the 49ers organization. He's going to end up in another organization real quick. Guys would fire their head coach to bring Kyle Shanahan in. That's how much they love him. But I do find this still encouraging. I still think this is good news because you also look at some of these other guys in here, like Ben Johnson is one of those rising offensive play callers. He has to prove it as a head coach. I'd like to see him prove it as a head coach, and that's why he doesn't get to go any higher, in my opinion. Kevin O'Connell, of course, has another great year last year, similar with Sam Darnold, similar to what he did in the past with Kirk Cousins. And so you look at him and you're like, okay, I mean, he's got a similar kind of feel to Kyle Shanahan, where you're seeing a guy who's able to get a lot out of a quarterback. He's able to do something different than what other people are able to do. Sean McVay gets kind of some similar hype around what he was able to do with a quarterback that couldn't make it work in Detroit. So I see some arguments here, but one thing I saw, a great comment on this, was just how talented the offensive coaches are in the league right now. And that is absolutely true. Of course, a couple of these guys are just offensive coordinators, but that is pretty wild to think about how incredible it is at a time right now that we're living in a time where the offensive play callers are as good as they actually are, which is pretty exciting. But one last list to get to. This is the one that I am most excited about, let's call it. And it kind of sounds like a negative. I saw a 49ers WebZone article, David Bonilla, great article, but his take was kind of like, this is kind of a downside. The 49ers have gone from being number 1 ranked to number 4 ranked. I actually feel differently. I think the 49ers, despite the loss of Deebo Samuel, despite Brandon Aiyuk not being back from injury yet and being out the majority of last season, despite Ricky Pearsall not getting a full season last year, despite Christian McCaffrey being injured basically all season, despite the 49ers not having a legitimate pass-catching tight end too at all. They just never have. I mean, it's been a long time since the 49ers have had somebody across from George Kittle that they're throwing the ball to. Bill Barnwell of ESPN ranked the 49ers number 4 amongst the best playmaker groups, and I think that's something worth celebrating. I'm going to read to you what Bill Barnwell said. The back-to-back playmaker champs have fallen off their pedestal with injuries as their primary cause. Brandon Aiyuk will be returning from a torn ACL. Christian McCaffrey was limited last season to 4 games by Achilles and knee injuries. McCaffrey has been brilliant and healthy for his prior year plus with the 49ers, but he has now missed significant time in 3 of his last 7 seasons as a starting NFL running back. It's impossible to project injuries, but it's unrealistic to treat McCaffrey as a 17-game starter for the purpose of these rankings. The Niners are also soured on Deebo Samuel and traded him to the Commanders to help ease their cap burden, nominally replacing him with journeyman Demarcus Robinson. You totally undersell Demarcus Robinson by calling him a journeyman, by the way. It's a completely fair thing to say. He's been on a bunch of teams, but you're underselling him. He is really coming into a stride with the Rams, and he's going to be a great fit for the 49ers, in my opinion. There's less to go around here, but the 49ers had the league's most stacked set of playmakers heading into 2024, and that was before Juwan Jennings broke out into a larger role. Of course, we all saw it. We all knew it, but it's still fair. San Francisco's third down weapon was a real thing as Jennings ranked 37th in catches on first and second down, but 5th on third down. He's not Samuel in terms of working after the catch, but Jennings was tough to bring down and willing to make catches in tight quarters, which led to him finishing 12th in ESPN's receiver score this past season. Tight end George Kittle was above Jennings in receiver score, second only to A.J. Brown in the league, which again, when a tight end does that, come on guys, they got to pay attention. This is crazy. Outside of their standouts staying healthy, the player who might have determined where the 49ers land in 2025 is second-year wideout Ricky Pearsall, who is 25th in receiver score while only averaging 1.5 yards per route run. Though he was seemingly able to get open, those opportunities didn't yield targets very often. It's always going to be tough to attract a lofty target share with so many mouths to feed, but if Pearsall can emerge as a legitimate starting wideout, the 49ers will have a strong case to head back to the top of these rankings in 2026. And that is why I read it to you, because that's exciting, guys. I mean, here's a guy, Barnwell, who's believed very highly in this 49ers offense, rating them, and just talking about playmakers, all right? I get it. Offensive line, that's something I get criticized for not talking about that enough. That's fair. You're right. You're right. I should talk about the offensive line more. But just talking about playmakers, okay? Just talking about playmakers, this is the team that is consistently at the top for several years now and has every reason, according to Bill Barnwell, to go and do it again. Let's go. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comments. As always, we are a week away from rookies reporting to training camp. We're here. We finally made it. We're a week away. I know I say that every day, so I'm just going to shut up, but I'm stoked about it. I hope you are too, and I appreciate you guys and hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday afternoon.